start the recording now, and I'll just share the screen and jump us through to Trello. So what I've put in here, the thing I've put in is under briefs and shoots, we've got this area called Edward Feller Design Work. And if I click on that, there'll be a whole lot of stuff in here. The first thing we're going to look at is a thing that Edward Feller did that was, he traveled across the States and he took photographs of signs as he traveled across the country. And this is an example. This is some of the pages out of the book. So it's this sort of thing where he took, I think they were Polaroids or Polaroid-like photos, and it's just typography. As he's traveled across the countryside, taking all these photographs of signs. It's a beautiful book. So we're going to end up doing a variation on it. So if I close this, the one underneath is one that I've done. Okay, so there's a couple of pages. So I've just gone through, and literally this has been me walking up the car and taking photographs inside the house. So license plate, the neighbour's garbage bin, and then as I get inside, insect repellent, a couple of things off the top of the front of the washing machine, desk door, gin, just things within the house. And this page as well. Go through it. And so I've given you a template just to paste these images in, and I'll show it in a minute. But what I want you to do is go through, take some photos, crop in on the text like this, and then the second part of it, if we look at the next two pages, is scaling and orientating the photographs so that they start to form some kind of pattern or link. So if you look at this one here, the top of the shackle sticker hits this line as it comes through here. The white eye kind of joins up with that bottom part of the white line and the top of the E. This tries to run down from the R and the 8. I couldn't really work out any way to join this one up. This one here, you can see it's blowing up, and then the M is blowing up to come off this. The circle of the O tries to link up with the I. So you're just looking for patterns, scaling and rotating things until they all start to line up. So this line hits this, so that you get this kind of movement through your drawings. Or sorry, movement through your photos. In some cases it works quite well, in others it's not quite so great. So this second page, there's little bits that work, but overall it's not a great page. But you can see what's happening. This is rotated and it tries to link up with the U. The E tries to link up with these. And so that's the exercise that I want you to try and run through, and I'll just show you now. On the email you would have got for the Zoom class, there's a link that takes you into the OneDrive, and what it will bring up, I'll just bring up InDesign, and share the screen. Right, so this is what the template brings up. brings up 2 pages here, and then the 2 where they kind of push together. Very easily, if you've clicked off a whole lot of photos, just click on the box, and it's either Command, or if you're on a PC, Control D, or the same as going up to File, Place, and you choose your photo. Place it in, onto the next one, Command or Control D. Next one.
Wait, so that's in the email you sent us, eh?
Yeah, it's I think it's got something about there's a link, and it's got this is in your OneDrive. So that should take you directly to the folder that has the template in it.
Okay.
But we can check that. We can check that in a minute. You're probably all pretty au fait with using InDesign. If you aren't, when you roll over the images, you're going to see this kind of camera lens-like circle that flicks up in the middle. If I click that, I'll see that I get this kind of brown box around the edge, and that shows me the size of the picture. So obviously if I go over the corner, I hold down the Shift key and I click and drag, it's going to scale it down. And by going over the middle, you can see it changes to a hand tool, and I can move that around. Now, if you want to see what you're doing, you click and hold down for a second, and then you'll see that it gives you this kind of transparency where you can see the whole image. So if I scale it right up, so again, Shift, click and drag. So I've made it huge this time. Same thing again, I click and hold down, and once I get that transparency, I can move it around and see exactly what I'm going to get. So the same with all of these. The other thing as well is once I click on it and I get that brown box, if I go outside the corners, I can rotate it as well. Same thing, you just click and hold down, and it will give you that transparency. So you can do a much, much better job of shuffling things around. If you want to move things with small increments, I can see that I've got that brown box. I can hit the arrow keys up and down. If I hold down the Shift key and hit the arrow keys, it moves in bigger increments. Take my finger off, and I can just hold my finger on the arrow keys and it will move it bit by bit. So you can shuffle it around fairly precisely. The only thing you have to be wary of is that if I click off on the background, if I click on this image, I can see it's highlighted the blue box. It hasn't got that brown square. So that means when I move it, I'm moving the box, not the image inside it. So make sure you go over the middle, you get that circle, you click, and that you can see the box for the image. Now, I'll come down to this one here and I'll chuck a couple of images in. So this is the second 2 pages.
How many of those do you want us to do?
If you do at least, actually I'd say if you just do this, if you just do 2 pages of photos, and then these 2 here where you try and line them up, that'd be perfect.
Okay, well, I'll just have to, when I go do it, I'll just have to go borrow my flatmate's camera.
Oh, you can't use your phone?
No, my phone's broken. I have to go buy a new one.
Oh no!
And I haven't been able to get into my bank account because of NetGuard. They didn't tell me I need a new card, a new NetGuard.
Oh yeah.
Things. So I keep forgetting to ring them. So I got to ring them.
Yeah, the NetGuard thing can be a little bit of a.
Yeah, well, no one. They didn't tell me that I needed a new one. So I was like, "Well, this is great. I'm having a great week."
Yeah. So look, just those couple of pages will be more than more than enough.
Mhm.
And
Can we use the same photos?
for the first 2 pages and the second.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
do you want all different photos?
No, same photos. Basically, if you do these two pages, and then when you come on to the second two is essentially just loading the same images. And so with the first 2 pages, you can just
Your scale.
you can. I wouldn't with the first 2 pages. I wouldn't worry about it too much, other than if you think the composition looks terrible.
Okay.
You know, so with this one here, it's like actually it doesn't really matter if I scale it down or I have it at a big size. It's fine. So it really is just, throwing the photos in for these first 2, and what it does is it creates a really, really kind of lovely mood board. You'll be quite astounded by the way the images look when you just kind of throw things in. These second 2 pages, this is the one where I do want you to try and scale and line things up. So if I look at this one here, actually putting it in has more or less got it pretty good with lining up. So I'm just moving it so that the top of that white line lines up with this. And actually I might scale it so that I can get the whole picture running off the bottom of the page. Actually, I'll scale it even more so that the red is running off. So I'm trying to line up the white lines. Oh, and I must have actually done exactly what I said not to do by bumping that box. So to me, I think, yeah, okay, that's nice. It's a solid block of red color. The white line's up. What am I going to do with this one? And maybe in this case, I'll do the opposite. I'll scale it right down and push it again so that the D lines up with the white. And then what I'm getting is I'm just getting this nice kind of negative space come in. And I would work in groups of 3. I would think about just trying to line those 3 up and then do something, adjust the next 3. Trying to do it horizontally and vertically becomes really difficult. You get a much nicer result if you just look at this as a panel.
How many photos do you want us to take?
It looks like it's 30 photos.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just 15 on each side, but it's literally, you don't because it's a bit like a mood board. The easiest thing is just go straight to the cupboard and just take photographs of food packages and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
If I jump back to Trello. So yeah, so with these ones, I hopped out of the car. It's the license plate and a sticker off the car. The neighbour's bin. That's my no junk mail on the letterbox. Went into the bathroom and photographed a few things, and then this is basically, I think from here on, it's all in the kitchen. Bags, the New World bags. I'd written flour on a container. Vietnamese coffee, and it's just stuff out of the cupboard. And then I spotted my son's school report. and this is a few things in the lounge, like the kids have been playing Jenga, some jigsaw place, a couple of beers, the bookshelf, and and a sweatshirt. So 30 photos. You can basically spin around in a circle and take 30 photos pretty quickly. But the focus, of course, with this is it's typography that you're looking at. Okay, so whatever you're photographing, you're just photographing type. I don't want anything, pictures of anything else. The focus is the type.
I'd make it easier because some of us have actually done some of this before.
Well, you've done this project.
Well, not this in general, but we've done this sort of type stuff with Alice.
Oh, yeah, what did you do with Alice?
So that entire project was about like doing this as well. Like we did this for the first week or two of taking photos of type and then doing exactly what you're doing.
Huh.
The rest of it was like making words of like we had a book that we used for the remainder of the course.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So like we just chose a book that had type in it and then we used that and we just took words out. So like, I know, banana or something, and you just work with it. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty. This one should be pretty straightforward then. And so with this, and can someone just I'm gonna stop the sharing for a second. I'm gonna stop this recording at this stage.